Hello, crypto fellow travelers. This is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. So let's get the camera all set up, ready to go. We're getting a little bit of flashing there. It'll resolve itself a little bit. You know, Linux and webcams, sometimes it has a little trouble, but hopefully the screen will fix itself a little bit. It is February 22nd, 2021, and it's been a long year already. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of things released, a lot of things to do, tons of interviews. The surprise of the day is I got an email, total cold call from Lex Friedman. He says, "Hi, I'm Lex Friedman. I run a podcast, and I'd like to interview you. And I've interviewed some interesting people like Elon Musk," and he describes him as engineer. I was like, you don't say there, Lexi. You don't say. Oh, boy. That color is pretty crazy. Let's see. Well, there's nothing we can do. Hang on. Let's see. Logitech Brio, full high def. Audio, no green screen, camera settings. Well, we're just going to have to deal with some flashing red light. Poor camera. Maybe that'll reset it. There we go. Okay, so anyway, I had a good day. A lot of work done. We're getting closing out the month. 2 days before we have the HFC event. We're waiting on those birds to land. Your guess is as good as mine. Looks like the end of the month or early next month. So those are going to be some fun announcements. Hope you guys like them. But all things considered, smooth sailing. Project is moving along. It's late at night here at 8:37. Worked on the stake pool a little bit. And as I am the king of the rats, I'll call it something along those lines. And you guys should see it shortly in Daedalus, and I'll advertise it, just like the rest of y'all stake pool operators. And then we can complain about parameters. I'll go complain to myself. Anyway, it's been a long day. It's been a long week, and it's only Monday, I think. Or is it Tuesday? I can't even remember. All right, let's get to your questions, huh? Okay. Opinion on there we go. Opinion on David Chaum. Now, David is a very famous cryptographer, very active during the 1980s, 1990s. He was a big guy, very paranoid, very brilliant, and he did some really cool work. He created a company called DigitCash, and it was a reflection of some of his research. He has a new project, I think it's called Elixir or something like that, I don't understand the science, and I don't quite understand the design of what he's doing, but all things considered, he's David Chaum. He's a brilliant guy. And we certainly have a lot of fun talking to him from time to time. Last time I saw him in person was at Consensus in 2019, the conference where apparently, according to Cointelegraph, I allegedly yelled at journalists in a crowded hallway. Not really sure what happened there, but that's what they say. How come Elon changed his picture to a fork? Because he's hungry for pie. Opinion on psychedelics potentially in feeling innovation. It's called Silicon Valley. They're microdosing LSD. All the original guys who started it were high on balls. You go out to the forest, you pick some psilocybe mushrooms. They've been using psychedelics for quite some time in innovation management. Is Uniswap going to Ada? Well, we might copy the protocol, but I don't think they have any plans to migrate. Which do you prefer, Boulder and Denver? I went to college in both towns, and they're very, very different. Will there be a token burn? No, but what I want you to do is be very specific about this. I want you to turn off your computer. I want you to take it and throw it in the trash can. If you have a car, get in the car, and I want you to drive to the mountains. I want you to sit on a rock, look at the sunset, and contemplate your existence, and ask yourself why you're so consumed with idiocy and avarice. And after you're done with that, I want you to come back, and only after you've reached a new level of clarity and insight, and then beg for forgiveness from the entire Cardano community for suggesting to destroy their money. Okay, what do we got here? Goat. Why does everybody call me that? What do you guys got things for goats? It's weird. Okay, what do we got here? What are the flashing lights in the background? Yeah, that was the issue I was trying to fix in the beginning. I'm not sure why the webcam is doing that. There's some sort of lighting issue. Maybe if we go dark. Let's try dark mode. How about that? Just a second, guys. Gotta go dark mode. That did not fix it. Makes me a sad panda. Hell, we'll go without the headset. Don't really need it. No one's calling in. Or are they? Who knows? All right, what do you guys got for me? Big homie wearing a kimono. Everybody thinks it's a kimono. Is a yukata, sir. You guys will one day know. Okay. Come on, give me some good questions. We never do it. Stop asking. Never trust a scan. You are the king. No, you, sir, are. Because you're listening. Gene Simmons Cardano. Yeah, that one took me by complete surprise. I have no idea why. I don't know what's going on with old Gene Simmons. It's pretty crazy. He just bought some ADA. He said it's a great investment. We never talked to him before. I don't personally know him. And I just got home when I saw it. I saw my phone. I said, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Anyway, my guys are reaching out to his guys, and hopefully we can at least maybe bring him on the podcast or something and have a conversation with him. I can interview him like I did Sam and the rest of the gang. And I pray that these red lights won't be going on. We'll figure it out. All right, what do we got here? Any new Haskell courses coming up? Actually, yes. We have one coming up in Ghana, and I will cover that in a little bit. Remind me to get back to it. Hi, Charles from Mexico. Well, it's nice to meet you. And lávate las manos. Okay. Will Cardano solve the gas fees issues Ethereum has? Yes, it will. Interview Justin Roiland, please. Only if he does the Morty voice. Will Atala have an open source license? Everything we do is open source. We do not work on non-open source projects. We're always patent free. Usually Apache 2, sometimes MIT. I don't even like GPL. Chicken wings. Drums or flats? Flats. Why was your TEDx 6 years ago in Bermuda? It was a great talk, truly inspiring. Because the people for the Bermuda TEDx invited me to speak. They picked it. I showed up and spoke. Hi, Charles. Have you ever been inside a vertical farm? Asked the kid who has a profile picture of him standing next to a vertical farm. Why, yes, I have. Kid standing next to a vertical farm. I have indeed been in a vertical farm. Your opinion of Janet Yellen's comment on Bitcoin today? Well, I think I saw her years ago on a television show in the 90s. I believe it was called Dinosaurs. It's a good show. Favorite Greek island? Mykonos. What keeps you so humble and down to earth? Copious consumption of drugs. Okay, what do we got? Charles, when do you usually go to sleep? When the clowns let me. Hi from Kansas City. Used to hate you guys because I was not a Chiefs fan, but I don't watch football anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Do you play an instrument? Yes, the piano badly, and I got a shakuhachi flute right there. Maybe I'll play that. You never know. How many llamas are you getting? Well, Prudence says I should get 4 alpacas and 1 llama, but I might get 2 llamas and put hats on them. And I'll train one to go, Carl. Hey, Charles, I'm from Ethiopia. How can I help with Cardano? Get with John O'Connor, and I'm sure there's something at the office we can have you do. He's right in Addis Ababa. Hola, from Argentina. I love Buenos Aires. Your room needs improvement. No, sir. I love my room. It's great. How are the birds? About 0.75 Hitchcock. Will you partner with Celsius? Well, it depends on what Fahrenheit has to say in the relationship. Are you drunk right now? Yeah, I'm drinking coffee. Delicious, delicious coffee. Ah, it's good. All right, what else you got? Can you use Python to make dApps on Cardano? I'm sure one of these days people are going to figure that out. Hi, Charles, are you guys talking to the Indian government? We are not, but Manmeet Singh is one of the members of the Cardano Foundation Council, and he's intimately familiar with Indian politics. He is from there. His parents were diplomats, and I'm sure that he's made some great inroads. You know, it's a closed economy to me, and it doesn't seem to be terribly crypto-friendly. But, you know, Cardano is a global movement, and what's great about Catalyst is it can provide resources for local entrepreneurs to build in jurisdictions just like that. So it will come. It will come. Okay. Can we build a Flutter plugin? Flutter, as in Dart. Yeah, don't see any reason why not. It's a great language. How are the anti-aging drugs treating you? Oh, they're just great. Me and my third leg are just wonderful. Hi, Charles, did you see the United Airlines incident in Colorado? Not only did I see it, the engine landed literally in the city I grew up in, Broomfield. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Have you been to Mexico? Many times. I love Monterrey. How does one become a cryptographer? Is it too late at 24? It is not too late at all. You need to have strong math background and a strong computer science background. And if you do, my recommendation is to go ahead and read John Katz's Introduction to Modern Cryptography. If you love that book and it's your favorite thing in the whole wide world, then go ahead and take the University of Maryland Coursera specialization on information security, which includes a dedicated course on cryptography. If you still love it, and it's the best thing since sliced bread, you're probably either going to be an InfoSec guy or you're going to be a cryptographer. Okay, and they do very, very, very different things. So go to a graduate program in information security or apply for a graduate program in cryptography. And based upon the level of mathematical acumen you have, and if you like writing proofs and doing theory and writing papers versus practical and applied systems, will tell you a lot about where you fall in those two things. But just by reading John's book, it's going to tell you whether you got the chops or not. And that is the rest of the story. Are you from Maryland? Oh, God, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. No, I haven't been stabbed enough. I'm from Hawaii. Have you ever met or spoken to Elon Musk? Both. What is your best advice on how to study and learn? Learn the Zettelkasten, Zettelkastin, I believe, note-taking system. How about that? Didn't see that one coming, did you? Yeah, it's left field. What's up? Is the singularity near? I have no idea. Charles, please explain fixed supply and the 45 billion total supply. Oh, yeah, very, very easy. We like it fixed, and 44,999,999 was too little, and 45 billion and one was too much. Abrams tank. Cake. How many languages do you speak? Barely one. You need a flashing blue light and a cop hat, and you could do cops. I got to be honest with you. Why does everybody who's arrested on cops not have a shirt on? Is it like some property of the show that your shirt has to come off before you get arrested? You guys ever notice that? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Are you treating someone to a loan today? Yes, sir, I am. Every AMA, we're doing a Kiva loan. Zimbabwe of any interest to you? We need your help desperately. Proud Zimbabwean here. Always Rhodesia to me. Zimbabwe was destroyed by Mugabe, and the best thing ever to happen to that country is he's gone. So I'm very happy to see that there's a potential for Zimbabwe to repair itself. Anytime the government goes around and starts stealing property from people and reallocating assets, you're going to destroy your economy within 10 years. There are no exceptions to that. None that I can find. And it's just a sad situation. Parachains on dot look amazing. How will Cardano compete with that? If they're amazing, we'll just take them. They use the same consensus protocol as us. That's the danger of copying your competitors. They can copy you back. No, Gavin's a good guy. I'm glad that they've done some interesting things. That's fun. Charles, recommend us a book. Okay, let's see what I got on my table. Oh, this is a fun one. You guys are going to love this one. This is from Charles Petzold, The Annotated Turing. It's one of those cheat books where what he did is he took Alan Turing's very famous paper that invented or discovered, depending upon where your philosophy sits, the Turing machine, and he annotated it. So he included a few chapters that discuss all the preliminaries to really understand why it's such a big deal. And then he goes through line by line in the paper, and he talks a little bit about it and shows you how to really understand what Alan Turing was talking about. So if you're ever studying computing and you actually want to go to graduate school in it, this is a really, really good paper to start building some foundations. Great paper, great book, highly recommend it. You'll actually understand what Turing Complete is all about well enough to talk about it at cocktail parties. Is Cardano susceptible to a PNP solution the same way Bitcoin is? Do you even fucking know what that means? Honestly, do you? Really? Really? Just heard about it? Just read it on a Wikipedia page? And I want to sound smart today. I want to talk about PNP. You people crack me up. You really do. What is your opinion on Warren Buffett? He is the living incarnation of Benjamin Graham's value investing. He read that book 9 million times and indoctrinated it. Charles, are you grumpy today? No more so than normal. Who you calling you people? The people that talk about PNP. PNP, it's dynamite. What do you think about Jeff Bezos quitting as a CEO? Well, he's not really quitting. He's just finishing his conversion to supervillain. So he put a bid on a volcanic island, and now he's breeding some sort of race of dinosaur people. I, for one, welcome our new dinosaur masters. Do you think machines can ever be conscious? So what do you know about consciousness, Brett? What is consciousness? Let's really get into that. Is it required for intelligence? Is intelligence consciousness? And is consciousness an implication of free will? Did you really think about the philosophical implications of it? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Is consciousness an after effect of the operation of our brain? Or is consciousness necessary for our brains to function? Could we be not conscious in the sense that we are today, but intelligent, much like Dan Dennett's zombie? Or must we be conscious for us to be able to have goals and desires? Or are our goals and desires actually predetermined, but we just are unaware because we don't have enough consciousness to understand dispassionately that we're slaves to some sort of deterministic programming? So the long and short is machines do not need to be conscious for artificial general intelligence. And Stuart Russell actually wrote a very lovely book called The Problem of Control that actually discusses this. And consciousness is something that many AI experts don't even care about or think too much about or attempt to replicate because it seems to be unnecessary for goal-driven behavior. Do you have a favorite historical figure? No, sir, I do not. I love you too, Quicksilver Outdoors. Fibonacci sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you guys. From Dan Chapman, when is hardware support for Catalyst? We are right now looking into that. We're thinking about that. It doesn't look like it's terribly difficult to do it. So we are extending the Vacuum Labs contract to be able to put in a hack that would let us do that easily. So if I had to guess, I'd say Q2 with the next firmware update. Charles, A-Team or Knight Rider? A-Team, and I pity the fool who don't understand why. I have to get on my pity train. Favorite philosopher? Bertrand Russell. I was actually just talking about him today. We had a lovely seminar with Leslie Lamport. He comes on in. It was like it was interesting. He was a little conservative, a little like, who are these guys? He's feeling out the room. But his heart grew 3 sizes too big. And by the end of it, he had way too much fun. And we'll have him back on. He was actually lecturing about how to write a proof. And he was telling this to a bunch of mathematicians and computer scientists and physicists. And guess what? It was amazing. We learned a huge amount. We had so much fun. We asked him some cool questions. And the cool part was that I got to mention a few things. So he in the presentation said, hell, well, it's not like the hardest thing in the world. It's like proving 2 + 2 = 4. And I said, sir, on this day, February 22nd, 1910, Bertrand Russell and Alfred North Whitehead published Principia Mathematica Volume 1, which in it laid the foundations over 1,000 pages long for proving that 1 + 1 = 2. with their system, the combination of logic and set theory and arithmetic in so just magical ways. Of course, that formula has fallen out of use by modern mathematicians, but it was a titanic achievement which took years of work. And so I pointed it out to Dr. Lamport. I said, hang on a second here. It's quite difficult to prove these things, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But, levity aside, it was a great moment, and we really had a lot of fun. And it's rare. He's 79 years old, and I grew up with his papers, and I grew up looking at these guys, and when I was a lot younger, they were in their 50s, late 50s, and now they're in their late 70s. And it's not going to be too long until they're in their late 80s. Karp is 86. Donald Knuth, he's like 900. But he won't die until he writes his last book, and then it'll crumble into dust like a Skeksis emperor. Yeah, it's kind of humbling and surreal to be able to interact with them. They're living legends, and it was a great honor to have him speak. Hey, Mr. Hoskinson, what if you want to get into cryptography, but you have poor math skills? Don't you believe it will need some front-end selling of these systems to the average customers? No, you do not get into cryptography if you have poor math skills. Mathematics and cryptography are required. They're together. You can't separate them. They live in the same house. They date the same women. What you can do is you can become a salesman, so learn a little bit about computer science and learn about the application of cryptography and learn a little bit about information security. You don't sell crypto, you sell IS, that kind of stuff. And you'll need a little bit of math, but not a whole lot. But don't even think about calling yourself a cryptographer if your math skills are not for par. Do you think President Biden has signs of cognitive decline or symptoms of dementia? Yeah, there's pretty good evidence of that. Applied or theoretical maths? Both. Either or. I mean, PhD in applied math, PhD in pure maths, you're rigorous enough. Favorite Pink Floyd album? Wish You Were Here. How often do you think about death? Years ago I read a book from Ernest Becker, like Man's Denial of Death or Denial of Death or something like that. And the kind of the construction of the book is that death is the key driver of human behavior. So everything in life is horrible. They're all trying to kill each other. We survive by devouring the flesh of other creatures, and other creatures would eat us in a heartbeat if they had the means to do so. And this is psychologically terrifying if we really deeply think about it. So what we do is we construct all kinds of distractions and structures to allow us to do two things. One, to not think about death, and two, to find a way to transcend death, either through some sort of system of functional immortality, where we create a legacy. We put our name on buildings. We name theorems after ourselves. We start families and have kids, and the kids remember us and carry on the legacy. Or through fantastical metaphysical psychological delusions. So we invent religions. And so that's the Becker construction of the four things. Life terrifying, scary. Most of the ills of society are immortality cults, and then usually these immortality cults are in conflict with each other, and that's what causes the evils of the world. So the acceptance of death, regardless of how horrific it may be, actually allows you to transcend and reach a new state where you are at peace, regardless of when you go or how you go. Now, a lot of us say, oh, well, it was easy for Ernest Becker to write down. He's probably one of those, armchair philosophers. Well, he wrote that book while dying of cancer and died shortly thereafter. So he certainly was confronting his mortality head on with courage. Are you a golfer? And if so, what's your handicap? I am a golfer, but not very good. And I won't tell you. Is the Flare network a threat to proof of stake? No. Loved seeing your Chrono Trigger post on Twitter. Have you played any of the Sudoku games? Suikoden. There we go. Suikoden. Yeah, I think that's the way you pronounce it. No. Didn't even pronounce it right, so you kind of got your answer there, did you? Do you drive Lambo? Yes. This is like the highest question I have read all night. Do you like Kid A or OK Computer or In Rainbows? Are these like band names? I'm missing some context here, or you are so high, Flavo County. So high. Favorite Kubrick film, 2001 Space Odyssey. Full Metal Jacket was amazing as well. And I can't complain about Eyes Wide Shut. I want to drive a Lambo one day, working hard to get there. Do not have a goal of driving a Lambo. Have a goal of living well. I'd trade everything if I wasn't. How do you like your eggs? They're great eggs. Howdy, Bob Bobo. Do you watch anime? No. Oh! Have you heard of the Easterlin paradox? Is that like the Mandela effect? No, I have not. Something I don't know. Which is harder to learn, computer science or math? Math. What's up with all the Greeks on the IOHK team? I'm Greek, by the way. Yosis. We have a Greek chief scientist, and once you get one, they just keep coming. Actually, we even have an office in Greece. It's at University of Athens. Did you read How to Avoid a Climate Crisis by Bill Gates? Well, no, and it just came out, and I can already tell you what's in it. We have to fundamentally change every aspect of our lives, no matter how small. Your toothbrush has to be made out of corn plastic. Everything must be sustainable. And because the only way to get there is mammoth government regulation, we have to build a transnational framework of super governments that control every domain and aspect of your life to save the planet. Or we could just go in the Arctic and build a bunch of carbon scrubbers that suck the carbon right out of the air, powered by geothermal and nuclear. But Bill likes government. My favorite computer game is Arcanum. Do you also love Minesweeper? And what are your best times? Oh, man, I remember that. Windows 95 for the win. Favorite cartoon? Robot Man was just great. When I was a kid, I read that. Rocky Mountain News. It's in the comic section. Also kind of liked Garfield, but it got old and repetitive over time. But actually, my favorite cartoon was Far Side from Gary Larson. Absolutely phenomenal. I love that humor. School for the Gifted. Trying to push the door that's supposed to be for pull. Favorite piano song? Chopin's Nocturnes. They're the most fun to play. Do you know Vedic Mass? I have a whole book on it. Sir, please come to Pakistan. Been there years ago. Gilgit. Beautiful place. think that might fix the lighting a little bit. Damn it, it still didn't. That's great. Okay. Did you ever play Myst? Yeah, I did as a kid. Charles, when Lex Friedman? I believe June 11th. Is your Wi-Fi flashing? No, sir, it is not. What the hell are you wearing? It's called a yukata. You reach a certain stage in life where you just don't care anymore. And you get away with it because you just don't care anymore. How did you come up with the name Gauguin? It's named after a famous computer scientist. So, I have a rule. You hashgraph people come into my channels and you ask me hashgraphy questions. And honestly, I'm never going to answer them because I don't care. If it's patented, I don't consider it real. So the minute that they open source things and no one can control it, then I'll actually read their white paper and pay attention to them. This is not a repudiation of the project's technology or the code or your things that you've implemented and the business you've done. It's just I see no difference between that and a database. Just honestly don't. How often do you have time to watch TV? I don't watch TV. Did you listen to Daft Punk? Only the Tron albums. Favorite liquor? Does whiskey count? Is that a liquor? Yeah, I think it is. Whiskey. How many digits of pi can you remember? 3.141592653589793223846264338 3279502884191. That's as far as I got. Baldur's Gate. One of the best games ever made. MIT, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Stanford, which one and why? None of the above. Obviously, it's C. Boulder, the greatest university ever created. Why Colorado? Well, it's always warm and sunny in Colorado. That's why. I go to CSU. Well, it's okay. No one's perfect. How is important is the university for you? Not at all. Don't care. Charles, thoughts on feeless DLT systems like IoT and like IOTA and Nano? I don't really care about them. You got to pay fees somewhere. Someone always pays the fee. Favorite stress relief? Well, obviously AMAs. Come on, guys, give me some good questions here. It's make me sad, these questions. Come on. Do you use the Brave browser? Yes, I only recently became brave enough. Do you fish? I do, sir. Do you prefer tea or coffee? Both. I've been drinking a lot of matcha lately. Aliens, yes or no? Yes. Oh, didn't mean to click that one. Mars attacks or cone heads? Boy, that's actually a very hard one. Probably Mars attacks, but I really liked cone heads. Bulletproof coffee in the morning. Do you grow your own facial hair? No, I actually buy it from Russell Crowe. It's a very expensive process. It requires a lot of shaving, extraction. Yeah, it's work. It's work. Charles, why Ghana? Actually, I have a story about that. Years ago, when I lived in Japan, there was a bar called Good Times in Osaka. And I used to go into that bar probably twice, 3 times a week. And it's a guy who ran it. He was named Eddie, and he was from Ghana, older gentleman. And it was a reggae bar. And I just hang out there because one of the few places I go that late at night where everybody spoke English. And I liked it. So Eddie and I would talk, and he'd tell me about Ghana. And he lived there 11 months a year. He'd make a lot of money running his bar in Ghana, in Osaka. And then 1 month a year, go back to see his family. And he put his kids through college. He took care of his wife. He took care of everybody, his parents and her parents, off of that money he made. And he was the nicest guy I probably ever met in all of Japan. He said, welcome to my bar. He's just the craziest guy. One time I ran into him. I was walking down the street. It's one of those Japanese side streets. And I said, Eddie, why is your bar not open? He said, I give you the key. I give you the key. So he gave me the key to the bar. So I take the key. I went to the bar, and like an hour later, he showed up. People started coming in after I unlocked it. I said, well, I can pour you a drink, and I'll just keep track of everything. But anyway, after getting to know him really, really well, he asked me what I did. I said I was an entrepreneur. And he said, well, if you're interested in Africa, promise me you'll do something in Ghana one of these days. And I said, absolutely, Eddie. I will do it one of these days. And so we are going to teach a class in Ghana. We're going to make it Pan-African, so we'll invite people all throughout the continent to apply, but we'll make sure we have a lot of Ghanaians. And it's going to be our most rigorous class we've ever done. It's going to be Haskell, Elixir, and TLA Plus. We have to do TLA Plus now because Leslie Lambert told us to. And probably take about 4 to 6 months to get through all the pedagogy. And hopefully we can hire some of our best programmers there, and we'll get them to do a very special project. And we'll make sure that we hire them in Ghana, in Accra, and they work there. And we're going to do that for Eddie because he was so good to me for all those years. And every time I come back to Osaka, he is always a little older every time I come. But every time I go back, I always see him at good times. I haven't seen him in a while because Japan's been closed. But Eddie is just a seriously good guy. So Ghana's because of him. Do you meditate? Yes, sir, I do. Can you talk about that brain sleeping device you talked about a few AMAs ago? That's called an Ergo Night. I have not used it as much as I ought to. It's been tough. Oh, this one's a good one. Best advice you've ever received. That's hard because it's always contextual to the circumstance. But the best advice for the moment for how we're building Cardano is the slow way is the fast way. And now that I truly understand that, my life has just gotten so much better. There's always a tomorrow. Just do your best, live in the moment, and work hard. And you'll always go to bed with a smile on your face, and you'll wake up with a smile on your face. And don't go to bed angry, especially with your loved ones. It's amazing how true that is. Do you like Rocky Mountain oysters? I love tricking people who are visiting Colorado into eating them. This one's an interesting one. Charles, thoughts on immortality? So as many of you know, my brother is a doctor, and my brother, he's going to be retiring from his current role as an internist, and we're going to probably set up a company, an anti-aging company. We're going to study regenerative medicine, regenerative biology, and therapeutics and treatments for anti-aging. So this one's a slow burner like the game development company. I haven't done any real work on the game development company because that's the lowest on the stack. But the anti-aging will move a lot faster on because it's a big passion of mine. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at hyperbaric therapy and photobiomodulation and exosome treatments and, all kinds of stuff like that. And the goal will be to come up with therapeutics protocols that can slow down the aging process, reverse inflammation, and get people into a more healthy state. So we're going to see if we can figure that out. We'll spend a few years in deep R&D. We'll set up an institute somewhere to study regenerative medicine. And over time, we'll build some therapeutics. So I'll keep you guys in the loop about that. But I'm actually really looking forward to getting into business with my brother. This has been something I've been wanting to do for 33 years. He went and did the doctor thing for a while, and I'm a big dummy compared to him. He's really smart. And so I can't wait to work with him. What's your favorite programming language? Probably Scala. Security lecture update video. I have not had the time to do it. This is a really fucked up question. Favorite war? Mine's World War II because I see it as the most iconic battle of good versus evil. There is no such thing as a favorite war. You don't celebrate the death and destruction of fellow human beings and the suffering that wars cause. Wars are always meant to be warnings, and they're the ultimate failure of diplomacy. That said, it's the Peloponnesian. Denotational semantics versus operational semantics. Thank you, sir. Obviously operational. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for that. Thoughts on Ludwig von Mises? Well, his value is very subjective to me. Charles, do you like okonomiyaki? Yes, I do. It means a little bit of everything in Japanese. And it's the junk food of Osaka. How old were you when you made your first million? 26. Became a billionaire at 30. Oh, this is finally a good one. If there was ever time for an epic rap battle, Euler versus Gauss. Euler. Absolutely Euler. You ask a number theorist who his favorite mathematician. Euler. Yeah, Euler's identity, Euler totient function. He was a special guy. Favorite rock band? Can you guys guess? Who do you guys think my favorite rock band is? Like real rock band. I'll give you guys 3 guesses. Let's see if you can get it. I'm sorry, Freddie. I'm not much of a skater boy. My favorite band is Boston. I have more than a feeling that you'll enjoy them for a long time if you listen to their music, especially if you listen to with Amanda. Erdos number 2, I think. Yeah, 2. Are you a Kanye West fan? Well, I ain't saying she's a gold digger. Thoughts on Noam Chomsky? Well, I'm going to give him an obituary when he dies, and you guys will find out. And then I'll get brutally criticized by angry keyboard warriors telling me that they're going to sell all their ADA because they politically disagree with me. Oh, Christ. Please, Charles, don't ignore my question. But seriously, I have direct contact with the Argentinian president. You fancy meeting? I really do. Cardano can make it a better place to live in. Reach out to our ATIX guys in Buenos Aires and come into the office, have a conversation with them, and I'm sure we can figure something out. Always happy to talk to a head of state. Better programmer, Gavin or Vitalik? Gavin by 9 million times. Much, much, much better. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made? I helped create Ethereum. Who's my favorite rapper? Well, MC Hammer. Is math discovered or invented? I see that all the time. Math that's not based on reality is invented, in my view, because you can just change the entire system and all the rules change. It's just a formal language, and it's like saying you discover a poem. There's all this romanticism behind the magic of mathematics, but just because you deduct something from a formal system doesn't no way means that somehow is discovering the nature of reality. If you admit the axiom of choice, then you have the Banach-Tarski paradox, which means physics and math are forever decoupled. So obviously you're not really modeling reality well when you start admitting these things. And really think about the nature of infinity and what is a real number, and does it actually work in our world or not? Really think that one through, and then you'll become an ultra-finitist and be exiled. The Princess Bride or the Three Amigos? The Princess Bride. It's inconceivable that the Three Amigos would be a better movie, sir. Favorite Nintendo franchise, and why is it The Legend of Zelda? I'm sorry, I was a Super Mario Brothers fan. Super Mario Brothers 3 was the best NES game ever made. Dragon Warrior was pretty good too. Are you going to get the COVID vaccine? Yes, I will. Who's your favorite golfer? Jack Nicklaus. And Phil Mickelson's pretty good too. Although those Nike commercials of Tiger Woods were just amazing, where he's like swinging the golf club. It's like, whoa, whoa. Will you ever go back to math studies? Well, I'm right now a fellow traveler of the crypto rivers, so I'm not going to do any mathematical research for a long time. But what I am going to do is pull a James Simons, and I'm going to endow an institute somewhere. He did the Simons Institute, and I'm going to do the Hoskinson Institute for formal mathematics. And we'll work with Lean, and we'll base it at some sufficiently prestigious university, and I'll dump tens of millions of dollars into it throughout the years, and we'll make math machine understandable. I have 3 goals in mathematics. 1, I'd like for the entire pedagogy of mathematics to be open and accessible to all. So every textbook released under a Creative Commons license, kill Springer. There's no publications anymore. It's all open. It's all open source. And because math doesn't change very much at the undergraduate and graduate level, that pedagogy can be learned for free. 2, I'd like for the tools, both on the research and the educational side, to be open, accessible, and easy to use, and integral to mathematical research. So I'd like a one-click install computer algebra system that also has a proof assistant, and you use the proof assistant like a REPL. Now, 3, I'd like to make mathematics, the totality of the field, machine understandable. So I've been discussing this with a collection of different mathematicians who are somewhat similar in this philosophy, perhaps not as aggressive as I am. And we're seeing what we can do. So that's how I'm going to get back to mathematics in the short term. In the longer term, after substantial progress has been made along that formula, what I'll probably do is get back in and try to build a cabal of mathematicians and go and try to solve one of the millennium problems with a cabal. I'm very good at leading people, especially scientists, and it would be a lot of fun to go and do that. Charles, do you ever linger in the Cardano Discord? I didn't even know we had a Discord. So the answer is no, and anybody who claims to be me isn't me. And if you're really suspicious, ask them to sign something with the PGP key. They're not going to be able to do that. What is the hardest part of being the CEO? The lack of reciprocity with empathy. You're expected to be empathetic to all, but you receive none yourself. Have you used MATLAB? Yes, I hate it. I'm not an aerospace engineer. I'm sure they enjoy it. I really do like Mathematica. That's why Wolfram and I are good friends. He comes and talks at our conferences, sends us emails from time to time. He's a really nice guy. Prickly from time to time, but he's a good guy. And ridiculously bright. And he just does things the way he wants to do it. And I have enormous respect for that. If you're going to go and do your own thing, then go do it with anger. No, and I took it personally. Kind of like Wilt Chamberlain more. Wasn't he in Conan the Slayer? The really tall dude with the mace? Favorite Coen Brothers movie? Isn't that The Big Lebowski? All right. That was a good one. I'm not going to read that, but yeah, I agree. I'll close with a story. So earlier today, one of the Cardano community members tweeted something out saying, hey, if Apple showed up and said, hey, we're going to get rid of IOG, just throw Charles away, throw the custodians, the current custodians of the ecosystem away, and Apple wants to take Cardano to the next level, would you vote for them? And 61% of the ecosystem said yes. If you ever think there's a cult of personality and there's a centralization around me, my company, and the current custodians, remember how fickle people are and how quickly people will turn on a dime if it's in their best interest. That is the difference between rational actors and a cult. A cult will do irrational things. A collection of rational actors will always act in their self-interest. And of course, they would vote yes on Apple coming in and taking over everything because it would probably take the ecosystem to the next level. Who cares about the people who got it as far as they are? Never forget that. The mob is always, always fickle. And they may love you today, but they're not going to love you tomorrow. So have principles, a higher ethic, and build within the design of the system your ethics and your values. So people can't vote to change those things. They stay there forever, regardless of who the custodians happen to be. So now let us get to the fun part. We are going to, and let me go ahead and open this up. Okay, and I am going to, all right, and today's lucky winner is, let's see, share screen, share screen. Okay, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it's Antonio Rafael. Let's see his story. I'll put my glasses on for this. Antonio is 28 years old. He is from Mexico and has worked as a merchant for 8 years. His aunt, who needs to undergo eye surgery because she was diagnosed with cataracts, which has made it very difficult for her to see. She does not have the necessary resources to pay for treatment, so Antonio wants to help her. He is requesting a loan so that his aunt can have surgery as soon as possible and enjoy a better quality of life. Well, Antonio, let's take care of your aunt, shall we? So $500 to him. Proceed to checkout. And we'll go ahead and stop the screen sharing for a second. Complete the checkout process. Take off my glasses so you guys can read. And we'll be done in just a moment. Very tired today, but I figure I'd give you guys an AMA because I love all of you. And I love doing this. This is a lot of fun. Okay, so let's share again. Screen share. Yep. And we go back. Okay, thank you so much, Antonio. An email has been mailed. So let's take a look at my portfolio and see how it's doing. So far, we're supported. Mananya, he's the cacao farmer. We have Rosa, she's from Kenya. And we have an Antonio Rafael, and he's based in Mexico. So, Antonio, best of luck with you and your aunt. We wish you well, and we hope for the best, and we hope that she has a good surgery. And if you ever happen to find us because of this podcast, do let us know the outcome. In any event, Godspeed. This is the magic of microfinance, and it's a dream of mine that something like Kiva will run on Cardano, and it will run directly, and we won't have to use charity. We can actually do it through a normal peer-to-peer model. And actually what would be so cool is if we could structure enhancements, for example, sovereign guarantees or insurance or some downside protection. I could take part of our company's treasury and we could every year give out millions to tens of millions of dollars in microfinance loans that really can help a lot of people throughout the world get a decent interest rate and be a good way to earn a return. So until next time, fellow travelers in the crypto rivers, It was a lot of fun. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Enjoy life. Make sure to not go to bed angry and wake up in the morning with a smile and watch a sunrise.